Within about 2 months of release, Donkey Kong Bananza already has DLC, which is called DKIL plus Emerald Rush, which I gotta be honest, I don't know why Nintendo is so obsessed with this plus thing. You have the Switch 2 editions plus this plus that. I don't know what's up with that. But regardless, DKIL plus Emerald Rush. Whoops, my bad, it's actually and. So some of it's plus, but this is and. Maybe Switch 2 edition is plus, and then this is and because it's DLC. I have no idea. This DLC is $20, which makes the total price of Donkey Kong Bananza $90 in USD. But the real question is it worth it, and should it have been DLC? If we're gonna go by just pure game time, you could argue that the $20 will end up being worth it. Because when you go through all the layers that you can do the Emerald Rush on, and all of the different difficulty levels, it's pretty grindy. But it being worth $20 or not, in my opinion, is just going by the game time. Because for what this DLC is, personally, I don't think this should have been $20 DLC. I actually think this should have just been the bonus thing you get when you beat the game. Because if we want to look at Mario Odyssey, when you beat Mario Odyssey, you get the whole Mushroom Kingdom as a whole new area to explore. And there's a bunch of different challenges and stuff to do within there. When you look at DK Isle and Donkey Kong Bonanza, there are a lot of cool little Easter egg stuff in DK Isle, but in terms of stuff to actually do, like challenges and stuff, there really isn't much. You pretty much only have the Gold Rush things that you can do where you go inside and do like a gold minigame thing. Oh yeah, and this freaking ridiculously cryptic banana thing. Even with a video guide, I still was like, huh? Maybe I'll get it more so now if I go through and do it, but that first time I was like, what the heck is this? And then if we want to look at the Emerald Rush stuff and compare it to Mario Odyssey, when you beat Mario Odyssey, you can go back to other areas and get new moons. And in my opinion, that's kind of like what Emerald Rush is for Donkey Kong Bonanza. Both games gave you something to do when you beat the game, except for Donkey Kong Bonanza, you have to pay $20. There are some post-game things you can do in Donkey Kong Bonanza when you beat it, but I don't know if it's really as much as there was to do in Mario Odyssey. I think it is less. And I think that Mario Odyssey actually did it better, and you don't have to pay for anything. It's just in the game. It's not even a free update. It's literally just in the game. This to me is a bad sign for the future when it comes to Nintendo. Donkey Kong is one of my favorite series of all time. So when I saw DK Isle, I was like, I gotta get this. And I gave it a try. And I'll get my money's worth in game time. But this is a bad sign when it comes to the future of Nintendo games. I'm not gonna say it's guaranteed, but I'm not gonna be shocked if I end up seeing that one of these games that comes out within a couple of months or so, there's DLC like this, where you gotta pay $20. This flat out to me is not $20 DLC. Even if you absolutely love the Emerald Rush mode, I don't think this is $20 worth. Me personally, I feel kind of meh, a little bit in the middle when it comes to Emerald Rush. I don't think it's bad, but some of the times when I do it, it honestly kind of feels like luck on what perks I end up getting. And just in general, I mean, I think it's kind of a repetitive mode. But if this was just a mode that was in the game when you beat it, I think this would be great. It's something that I can kind of throw on, grind a little bit, and then just turn it off. Because if we want to talk about a plus side with this DLC, I do really like unlocking the statues. I think it's fun. It's neat to see what statues you'll get because you don't know what you're going to get. And you don't even know what could be a statue or not. I know that I've been calling this mode grindy, but I do have to say, when you're on a good run, it is very satisfying to keep getting all of these emeralds. You're getting more perks, and then you're just getting more and more emeralds. It is very satisfying. But I do find it hard to be a mode that I just kind of play for hours. It really does feel like a mode where you go on, you hopefully get a good run. If you don't get a good run, you maybe do it a couple times, and if you keep getting bad runs, then for me, I just end up shutting it off and playing it again later. That's where it kind of ends up being grindy. Because even if you're on a really good run, it's satisfying, but then I'm kind of done. I don't really want to do another one. Or even if I do, again, it's not going to be for hours and hours. But this being $20, I don't think so. I don't think so, Tim. And this isn't just a complaint about the prices, just a complaint about the prices. I've been a diehard Nintendo fan for a long time.
Yoshi's going to kill me! Please! Mamma mia!
And I started to feel like Nintendo was losing a little bit of their magic when it came to the Switch 1. And now with the Switch 2, this really does not seem like a good track that we're on. Because this really does feel like cut content to me. And I know that that's not like a new practice. I know that, there's games that have done that. But you really are not getting much for $20. Even if it is cut content, if it was at least a bunch of content for $20, then yeah, it sucks, but at least it'd be a bunch of content. There not being anything to actually do on DK Isle besides the gold challenge things, and also the insanely cryptic banana thing, is honestly ridiculous. Because you literally can compare it to Mario Odyssey, which came out 8 years ago. And not only did Mario Odyssey do the bonus content when you beat the game better, in my opinion, they honestly had free DLC. They had the entire Luigi Balloon World. So for $20, you're getting what feels like a lesser bonus endgame content, and you're not even getting the added bonus that Mario Odyssey got for free, which was Balloon World. Which Balloon World added a ton of game time for me because I had a blast doing it. But we're now in a weird time with Nintendo, because are they really going to release a new 3D Mario and do pretty much the same thing? Are they going to just have a bonus area that is just $20 DLC? And then they're going to kind of rely on nostalgia? Because that's what sucked me in. I love Donkey Kong as a series. And for me, it was like, yeah, more content for Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm going for it. It was DK Isle. It's freaking cool. But then you go on and it's like, oh, this is pretty much just like a museum. I mean, there's nothing to do. And again, I don't want to take away from how cool the Easter egg stuff is on DK Isle. The throwbacks are super cool. Because I don't want this video to just all be negative. I mean, the throwbacks, seriously, are very cool. You have Clapper and the anglerfish. You've got little drawings in the sand. You have the warp barrel thing where it's like, which I know that impression was probably amazing. And then you also have the K. Rool ship, and it has the DKC2 finish thing. You jump on it, dun, 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 dun. It has that thing there too. The throwbacks are freaking cool. There's even some DK bongos. There's even a poster of Candy Kong. I mean, come on. I mean, not that I care, So don't get me wrong. DK Isle itself is really cool. And anybody who's an old Donkey Kong fan will love running around DK Isle and seeing all of this stuff. It's such a cool throwback. And getting the statues are super cool. But this is $20. Mario Odyssey did all of this better, and it was baked into the game. The only thing it didn't have was the statue thing. But I could live without that if it meant I didn't have to pay $20, and I just had this stuff baked into the game. And something I want to point out too is that it's not that I expect everything to be free. It's that this mode to me really does feel like something that should have been unlocked when you beat the game. Like, this to me seems better as post-game content than what was baked into the game. I don't really want to give spoilers. I feel like I've kind of given some with some of the stuff I talked about, but the things that you do when you beat Donkey Kong Bonanza without the DLC, I don't feel like is that much. So for me, it's more of the fact, because I know I keep bringing up like $20, $20, $20. It's not that things cost money. It's that for what you're getting for $20, I feel like Mario Odyssey did better overall, and you didn't have to pay for anything, and the base game was just cheaper. But we can ignore that because the game prices in general have just gone up. Like, not even just with Nintendo, just in general, when it comes to AAA titles from the big three. But if we ignore the base price of the game being $70, the $20 for the DLC bothers me because for what you're getting, I genuinely feel like this should have just been in the game. I don't really see this as DLC. That's my biggest gripe with this. It's not that it costs money. It's that for what you're spending, I don't think you're getting that much out of it, except for pure game time. Because the mode itself is kind of grindy. Also, there's noise outside. I don't know if that's going through the mic. But if you have a mode that's grindy, it's inevitably just going to add up for game time. Which is where I think that would make perfect post-game content. Because that way, if you just kind of like it, it's perfect. Because you still have an excuse to throw the game on. But if you only kind of like it and you spent $20, it just doesn't give off the same feeling. I think if this was $10, we'd have a different conversation. You could argue that $10 isn't that much of a difference, but for what you're getting, I feel like $10 would make more sense than $20. But my overall argument is that what's in this DLC should have been baked in the game. because we can literally go back and just use Mario Odyssey as an example. So yeah, do I think the Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC is horrible? No. But do I think it should have been $20? Absolutely not. But that's all I have to say about this. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. Are you enjoying the DLC? Do you think it was worth the $20? Let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, I'll see you all later. Take care, everyone.